Good morning, everyone. Today, my group will present problem-based tasks and presentation. And our course name is Routing Essentials. And my name is Prakaash and Kiramis. My metric number is 19DDT21F1031.
My name is Tharvin, son of Manohar, and my metric number is 19DDT21F1009.
So today, we will explain the question. Your task is to perform routers configuration with advanced features to support end-to-end connectivity in routers network environment that support IPv4 addressing. Your configuration included a basic router configuration, dynamic host configuration protocol DHCP, first hop redundancy protocol, FHRP static routing protocol. And here is the table with IP addresses and link local. And our topology required resource is 3 routers, 2911 routers, and 2 switches, Cisco 2960, and 2 PC, 1 laptop, and 2 servers. Also cables to configure the Cisco IOS and internet and the CD cables as shown in the topology. So task 1, config device basic setting. As usual, before we configure anything, we must set up the topology first. So the routers is the 2911. Dan 60 na. PC. So this will be our PCB, and this will be a PCA. So the one, one, three, silver, and which one? So the be S1 and S2. Okay, it will be S2 because S2, S1. So now we configure the cables. So we must add the HWIC-2T on each router. So before we add the we must switch off the router. Oh, sorry. Don't forget to on. And now we configure the cables. DCE, That's 0, 0, 0 for S0. And S01 connect with router 3, connect with S01, then config. Switch password 1. Then oops, upgrade 0. Okay. PCA plus 1. Pass internet 01. And so from server fast internet 0 to switch fast internet 0. And from switch to interface is fast internet 3. Zero. Okay. 1. So the there.
Itu Wanda.
So our topology will look like this. And forget to rename our server. It should be a DNS server. Okay. So as the question. So now I complete the topology as you can see here. So for the first thing is task 1, config device basic setting, config the R1, change the host name. Simply you config the CLI. So usual no. Enter router. Enable config T, host name 1. So IP domain lookup and the no IP domain lookup, and now we will configure the password and the previous password. So there will be um, enable password Cisco, enable secret admin service password and encryption on zero password Cisco password Cisco login exit IVT1015 password Cisco exit then MOTD hashtag authorize user only can access. So don't forget to copy the run start. So for router 1, okay, we will do the same thing for router 2. Only for one router, only for router 1. And the second task is set up host device. Set up IP address for each host based on IP addressing table. So the first one will configure the web server, the IP address, and the default gateway. So press the web server and go to IP configuration and search for web server 192.168.6.5. And the subnet will be 255.255.255 because it's slash about 34, and the default IP will be 192.168.6.1. And DNS server mm, 192.168.1.7. So mask 255 default gateway 192.168.1.1. So okay. And then task 3, activate and set up IP address interface for all routers using IPv4 and IPv6 address. Config router 1 enable IPv6 unicast routing. The one we so enter the unicast IP routing first. IPv6 unicast routing. Actually, we must enter the interface IP also. No? So for safety, we just IP at 192 4G 00192.168.2.1 255.255.255.0. Enter the input. Six address is enter and 6 at for the ding local address. So no shut. So we set up activation and set up for exit INT. So interface G 0/1 and IPv6 unicast routing. And IP at 192.168.1.1/24. So enter and IPv6 address would be Please enter an IPv6 address. Then no shut. And this interface is equal to IP at 192.168.3.1255. Oh, so IPv6 at no, there's no IPv6 at for G0/2 and no shut. So we will configure the serial cable. So XG INT S0/0. So IP at 209.65.201.253/27. 255.255.254. Enter and IPv6 address. Okay, there is no link local for serial cable. So next is we shut. Wait. So we will set up the cloud rate. So next will be configure R2. Variable config first name R2. First name R2, okay. And we must enable the IPv6 unicast routing. So IPv6 unicast routing. Enter and IP at IP S000 IP at 209.165.201.254 255.255.255.224. Enter. And the IPv6 address would be enter. No strap. Then exit int S0/0/1 IP at 209.165. For an IPv6 address. And no strap. So One to operate. Wait, one to wait. Zero. Okay, exit. So now we'll be configure the artery. Enable host name artery. Sorry. Pbt host name artery and enable IPv6 unicast routing. IPv6 unicast routing and INTG/0 IP address 192.168.3.2. Oh, sorry. G0.0. Okay. The INTG0/0 IP at 192.168.3.2.255.255.255.0 and IPv6 address. There's no IPv6 for G0. And next will be our G0/1. Oh, shut. So exit INT0/1 IP address 192.168.6.1.255.255.255.0. Enter and no shut. Exit I3. So we'll configure the interface for S006 cable. So S0/0/1. Oh, so IP address would be copy paste 255.255.254. Enter. So the IPv6 address to share. Exit. So task 4 config routing protocol will explained by Darwin. So Darwin will take over after this.
For task 4, we need to configure routing protocol, implement the routing protocol for IPv4. First, we have to implement the routing protocol for router 1. So the command is IP route, the IP address 209.165.200.0, the subnet mask 1255.255.255.0, the interface serial 0/0/0. Next, IP route for the web server IP address 192.168.6. Wait. 6.5 the subnet mask to 6.5, 255, 255, 255, 255. The interface serial/00. So next, so now we complete the implement routing protocol for IPv4 in router 1. We completed the summary static route on R1 by using R1 XE interface to reach the network, and configure static host route on R1 to reach the web server by using R1 exit interface. Now we need to configure router 2. The configuration is configure some summary static route on R1 by using R2 exit interface to reach the network. Then configure static route on R2 to reach the network 192.168.3.0 by using next hop IP address. Then configure static route on R2 to reach the network 192.168.6.0 by using R2 exit interface. Let's go to the configuration. The command is IP route 192. Wait, 192.168 0.0 255.255.255.25, sorry, 0 as 0/0/0 the interface. Then the next command is IP route the interface 192.168.3.0 subnet mask 255.255. The interface is S01. Next, IP route 192.168.6.0. Sorry, there is a mistake. 3.0 209. We need to enter the exit interface address. So the exit interface address is 209.201.165.201.253. Next, IP route 6.0 255.255.0. The interface is serial/1. So now we complete the configuration for router 2. Next, configure default static route on R3 by using R3 interface. So the configuration is static default static route configuration, IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0. The interface is serial cable/0/1. So now we completed the configure default static route on R3 by using R3 interface. So we completed the task 4, which is configure routing protocol. Next, we need to we go to the task 5, that is implement DHCP for IPv4. First, we need to configure R2. Configure R2 as DHCP v4 server. So for R2, first we need to exclude the first 10 address in each R1 LAN starting with 1, exclude DNS server IP address, then use the pool name R1G0 for the LAN G0/0 LAN and R1G1 for the G0/1 LAN. Then use DNS server address 192.168.1.7 and the domain name is cisco.com. Then set the default gateway. Let's go to the configuration. IP DHCP excluded address. The interface 192.168.1.1 to 1.2.168.1.10. Next IP address is 2.1.192.168.2.10. Next 3.1 and 3.10. So next, we need to enter the DNS server IP address, which is 192.168.1.7. Next, we need to enter use the pool name for LAN G0/0, which is R1G0. So the IP DHCP pool R1G0. The network 192 dot 192.168 dot 2.0. Then subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Then the DNS server address is 192.168.1.7. Then we need to enter the domain name, which is cisco.com. Cisco.com. Then the network 192.168. Sorry, before that we need to enter the common default router. Default router, the IP address 192.168.1.1. Then we need to do the same method for another pool name for the G0/1. The pool name is R1G1 IP DHCP pool R1G1. The network 192.168 1.0 subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Then the DNS server. The DNS server IP address is 192.168.1.7. Next, domain name cisco.com. Sorry. Next, default router. IP address 192.168.1.1. So now we completed for the implement DXP for IPv4 in our router 2, which is configure router 2 as a DHCP4. So next we need to configure R1 as a DHCP relay agent. R1. Now you can see that R1 is asked for password because we already configured the basic configuration for R1. So the password is Cisco. Enable. Secret class is secret is admin. Config. So for the configuration for DHCP relay agent is the INT interface IP helper. Configure IP helper address on R1 to forward all DHCP requests to the R2 DHCP server. So for the IP helper command, we need to enter IP helper address 209, the exit interface IP address 209.165.201.254. Next, we need to do the same method for another interface, that is G0/1. Same IP, same configuration and IP address for the X interface. So now we completed the configure R1 as a DHCP relay agent and configure IP helper address on R1 to forward all DHCP requests to the R2 DHCP server. Next, we completed the task 1, implement DHCP for IPv4. Next, we need to configure task 6, that is DHCP for IPv6. So for this, we need to configure switch. The switch 1. We need to change the host name. Host name S1. So first, for S1, we need to assign the dual IPv4 and IPv6 template as the default STM template in S1 and reload. Then use the IPv6 address autoconfig command on VLAN to obtain IPv6 address through SLECC. So first, we need to assign the dual IPv4 and IPv6, that is STM prefer dual IPv4 and IPv6 default. Next, we need to reload the methods configuration. Reload. We need to exit. Sorry. So now we can see after the reload, the configuration is completed. So next we need to use the IPv6 address autoconfig command on VLAN to obtain IPv6 address through SLACC. Let's do that. Config T, the int VLAN 1 IPv6 at auto config. So now we completed the implement DHCP for IPv6 in switch 1. So next we need to we go to the task 7, which is configure access HSRP active and standby routers. So first we need to configure HSRP on router 1. First, we need to configure HSRP on the G0/2 LAN on interface R1. So int G0/2. The command is standby version 2. Next, stand specify the HSRP protocol version number version 2. Then configure IP address of the virtual default gateway. The group number for this configuration is 5. So the command will be standby 5 IP 192.168.3.254. Sorry, there's a small mistakes. Need to worry. Okay. I forget to enter the IP command. Yeah. So we need to wait for a while. Okay. There is a for output that is initial, standby, and active. So the configuration or HSP is partially completed. So next we need to design the active R1 for HSRP group with priority value 150 and configure active router R1 to print the service of the standby router. So the configuration will be like this: standby five priority. The priority value is 150. Sorry.
If int G0/2. Right.
We need to design the active router on R1 XSRP group with the priority value is 150. So standby priority 150. Then standby 5 print. So now we completed the HSRP on R1. Next, we need to configure HSRP on R3. And config G. So now for R3, we need to configure R3 as a standby router on the interface G0/0 of R3. Then specify the HSRP protocol version number 2. Then configure the IP address of the virtual default gateway. The group of for this configuration is 5. So go to the configuration int G0/0. The same command standby version 2 2, then standby, sorry, and standby 5, sorry, IP. The IP address is 192.168.3.254. Wait, we need to double check whether the IP address is correct or not. Yeah, it's correct. The IP address for which will it be? So next. So we need to wait for a while until it's active. Then standby and active. So now, as we can see, the output shows the standby. So the configuration is complete for the HSRP on R3. So task 7 configure HSRP active and standby routers. It's completed. So now we need to demo IP address for PCA and PCB by using DHCP that have been configured. Let's we check it. So first PCA. So now we can see that the DHCP request is successful. So same for the IPv6. Now we can see the IPv6 request is successful. It means the configuration is configured successful. Next, go to we need to check for PCB. As we can see, the DHCP request is successful for IPv4. For IPv6 also successful. Next, go to laptop. Yeah, the DHCP request is successful, and for IPv6 also successful. Next, we need to ping PCA to web server. So next, now we can ping. The IP address for web server is 192.168.6.5. So we can see there is a lost one. So we need to ping another. So the ping is successful. Next, we need to ping for DNS server also 192.168.1.7. So now you can see the configuration is successful. So now we
all the connection the first attempt.
So now we completed our task for routing essential problem-based task. What are the challenges in order to complete this PBT? There are, there are some challenges. The main three challenges are, first, there are some disturbance for us while doing our presentation. One is The electricity current is disabled suddenly for block 2. Then another two challenges is
It's okay. There's too many configuration we need to do, but it's okay. We can handle it and manage it to finish it. And the third one is there's DACP configuration. There's a hard part also.
hard part,
So the next question is did you manage to verify all the connection in just per second? Yes, we manage everything,
but not in one time. We do it,
but we typo some of the comment
Yeah.
like we already manage it. If your answer is in E, now how many attempts do you manage to verify all the connection?
This is third time we do all this configuration and it's successful. So that's all from us. Thank you to
Thank
Puan
you.
Diana to give us the wonderful opportunity to complete our task. Thank you.
Thank you.